Around the Table with Vickie. Just like gathering around the dinner table with loved ones and friends, we're here to share stories, insight, and inspiration.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching and welcome back to another episode of Around the Table with Vickie. I'm your co-host, Chris Runk, and to my right, as always, is my mother, Vickie Runk.
Hi, friends. Good to see everybody.
And today, Mom, I'm super excited to talk about the topic we're going to discuss. It's something that we've been working on for 2 years, two years in the making, and that is going to be talking about the sport of disc golf, but not only any topic in disc golf, we're going to the highest level possible. We're going why not? That's what we do around here. We're going to be talking about the World Disc Golf Championship that's coming right here to Ivy Hill and New London Tech and Lynchburg, Virginia. And we're so excited. And in order to talk about all those topics, we had to bring in some major players that made it possible. And I'm joined today by the director of the City of Lynchburg Economic and Tourism Department, Marjette Upshur.
Thank you so much for having me, Chris and Vickie.
Yes, that's a big title, and that's the first time we had somebody with that big of a title on the couch.
And then the president of the PDGA, a dear friend of mine. He's the owner and operator of Ledgestone Disc Golf, and he's the tournament director, Nate Heinold, with us today. So I appreciate you being here.
Thanks, Chris. I am glad to be in Lynchburg. So
we've been working towards this for 2 years now, Nate, and we're here.
I came here first in September of 2022 and met with you and ate right here next to this building. And the fact that we're here almost 2 years later is awesome.
Yeah. So, let's just start at the beginning. Like, how did Lynchburg and how did the Worlds even come to Lynchburg? How do we get to this point? Like you said, it's been 2 years in the making. So I think listeners would like to know a little bit of the backstory.
Well, and also to talk about really what Worlds are. I know when you came down the stairs that morning and said, "Mom, we beat out Finland." I said, "The country of Finland?" And I was kind of surprised to know that it's kind of like the Olympics of disc golf. So for those that are listening and watching that have no idea what we're talking about, let's start there too. So
you want to tell everybody what disc golf is?
I'd say what disc golf is. It's like traditional golf. You're trying to throw an object into a target in as few throws as possible. And there's a professional tour that goes around the world. It goes to Europe. It stays here in the States. And every year they host the World Championships. And it's been going on for 41 years now.
Wow.
And it's disc golfers' moments to be in the spotlight. They can win tour events, they can win these other events, but to win the world title, that stays with them. That goes on discs and goes on apparel and gets them a big contract. There's a disc golfer that was from Lynchburg, Paul McBeth. His world titles catapulted him to a $10 million contract in the sport
and
of disc
golf. And it's right
golf.
here, Marjette. Right here. Can you even believe it?
I cannot even believe it. I'm so excited. I also think that the wonderful relationship that we've had over the years with Runk and Pratt and with both of you.
Wow, that's
when
nice.
you come to my office, ears perk up and we listen because we know that opportunity knocks. And so I couldn't be more delighted. I've told many a person over the last 2 years that this fabulous young man came in my office besides Nate and besides Chris, and he had on pink shorts to talk to me about professional disc golf. And I am a person that if you wear pink shorts in Lynchburg, Virginia, and come in my office to talk to me, you're a Renaissance man like that, I am all ears. And I couldn't be more excited about the fact that we are now here 2 years later, sitting beside Nate and sitting beside the two of you with this international championship. I can't speak it from the rooftops high enough, trying to tell the people in Lynchburg, Bedford, and all the surrounding counties and all the cities around here, you have the opportunity to see an international competition.
Yeah, that's right.
It's going to be amazing.
I know. And that guy in the pink shorts you're referencing is none other than the 6-time World Championship winner, Paul McBeth. He definitely helped.
He dressed to impress that day.
Yeah.
It was absolutely amazing. And we are so incredibly grateful for the fact that you all jumped on first and thought enough to bring it to us to give us this opportunity.
Well, what an
from
opportunity.
a tourism
Absolutely.
perspective. Incredible.
And Nate, tell us a little bit about what your vision is for the next 2 weeks and how people that live right here can get involved with coming to see the sport and what an opportunity is, and just really about how you chose Ivy Hill Golf Club and Forest, Virginia.
It was Paul called me 2 years ago, and I was going to be bidding on the World Championships for a different city, actually. And I think he knew that, and he called me and said, you should fly to Virginia. And I never been to Virginia, wasn't super interested, only because I had a really good partner. And as soon as I came on the ground and saw Ivy Hill and then New London, within a day I wanted to make it happen. And the bid was due a month after that, and we really had to work fast. And Marjette and her team helped us. And what people will see when they come out to Ivy Hill or New London, they will be blown away by the talent of the competitors from all over the world. We have people from Estonia, country of 1.4 million people. The number one player in the world on the female side is from Estonia, and she'll be here as the two-time defending champion. We have people from Finland and Sweden.
Marjette, we have to get a picture with her.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't think that's what people realize. I mean, I talk to, people in Lynchburg, and I'm like, listen, these incredible 300, am I right, Nate? 300 of the world's top players will be right here in Lynchburg.
Yeah, that really is amazing.
And they're I don't know where else they could go to see that, and
nowhere.
That's the push. We want to make sure that all our local people come out and support. We have great international people are coming from, I heard you say Tokyo and Europe and all over, but we need to get the word out that our local Lynchburg folks need to pour in and really support us.
Right? Absolutely. 13 countries are going to be represented at this event. I mean, it is absolutely amazing. And it's absolutely amazing what everybody's done to pull together. Just want to give a shout out while I'm sitting here to Bedford County, because as municipalities, right, we all we work together, but we haven't had an opportunity like this. And I have to say that it takes somebody like the two of you to bring us all together for this incredible event. And I want folks to know out there that when you're talking about tourism and when you land an event of this magnitude, we're talking about an economic impact for the city of Lynchburg and Bedford County of like $3.5 million.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
That is in over the time span that Nate and his crew will be there. And so it is not just an incredible honor to be selected and to be able to lean in on something like this, but they know the kind of economic firepower they bring to the table when they allow you to bid. So I am just this is an incredible opportunity for the city and the county.
And Nate, the tournament date is August 21st through the 25th.
Yeah, August 21st to the 25th. And players, it's Tuesday right now. Players started showing up yesterday and texting me last night saying, hey, I played today. Can I play Ivy Hill tomorrow? They're here for 15 days. And our staff got here 3 days ago. We're here for 17 days. We have 74 people just on paid staff. There's a media team of 50 people. Every player brings a caddy and a posse and families. And it's truly international with that. But we have a contingency coming from Finland of 9 people that are running the event next year, and
we beat them out, and they're still coming.
Well, we did beat them out, and then they got it the next year, actually.
There you go.
And they're going to be here, and
Does that mean, Mom, are we going to Finland
I don't
next
know
year?
about that.
You want to go ahead and start planning the trip?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. Yes.
So Nate, tell us a little bit about what spectators can expect when they come to these courses. Kind of talk about I know the elevation changes at Ivy Hill are that's something that I see it every day. So I'm not, I remember you telling me like it's possibly one of the greatest elevation changes on tour right now.
I would say New London is a very strong wooded course. People who don't understand disc golf will be very impressed watching discs fly through the woods at 500 feet distances. But Ivy Hill is, you said you're immune to it. Most disc golfers will step on the tee of hole 10 or spectators and be shocked to see that much of an elevation change. The spectators coming out are going to be able to see some of these players throw 600 feet to a small circle.
Wow.
Through the air with the mountains in the background, and I want the wind to pick up a little bit to make it a little harder for them. But if not, they're going to be really scoring well. I know I like to make it a little harder for them. So
raise the bar, raise the bar. Yeah.
So what we're doing? There'll be food, alcohol. I mean, talk about some of
so right now, you can buy tickets Monday and Tuesday, actually, of this next week at Ivy Hill. We'll have a tent there, and you can buy them online. You can go to pdj.com/Pro Worlds, or you can click events and majors and type in World Championship. We're going to have food and alcohol. We're going to have a disc golf simulator. Well, Vickie, you could throw against the screen and play two of the holes.
I'll probably be pretty good there, Marjette.
You could play two of the holes that are being played at the World Championships through one of our partners' tech discs.
Wow.
You can do the Merrill Speed Gun tent. So we're going to have games, a lot of food and snacks, alcohol for those that like that, and up and close on the action. Some of our spectator areas that we're building will put you 40 feet from the best players in the world, and you can watch them throw it through the air. We're going to have raised platforms with tents where you can be out of the heat and enjoying the shade. We're going to have TVs. We have big video boards set up where you can watch the live feed as it's being filmed. This will be broadcast online on Disc Golf Network. It'll be post-produced for CBS Sports later on. And so we have a lot of opportunity for people to come out from Lynchburg, from Bedford, from the area to watch it in person.
And I know that I had gotten some early reports of your ticket sales, and you felt like it was well above most years.
Our ticket sales are probably the highest for any event ever in disc golf, and so we're going to see a lot of spectators. Right now, the number that stands out is 87% of our spectators are not from Virginia, which is good from a tourism perspective. Yes. But we do want to see more locals come out because we want to bring this back, and we're going to bring a big event back to Lynchburg and Bedford in 2025 and beyond, but we want the local community to come out because really it is special. And there is an admission fee because we have to pay a lot of expenses to pull this thing off, but it's worth the ticket, and you get a lot when you're there.
Well, all of you guys that are listening on the radio, Saturday morning here coming up, I want you to come out and at least try it. See, you may just find that you've fallen in love with a new sport, and you'll be able to follow it on television and follow the tour everywhere it goes. And so please, everybody in the local area, heed my call to come on out to Ivy Hill and New London and enjoy all that's being brought here, because there's been a lot of work gone into this.
And I don't think people realize. I mean, some of that stuff's the first time I'm hearing it. Like you're being able to go to a PGA level. If you ever been to a PGA event with the bleachers and the stands and the video boards.
Yeah, we've been to a few of those.
We have, and it's going to feel just like that right here in Lynchburg, right here in Bedford County.
And for us to own the course, it's super special because, 6-7 years ago, we've poured so much into the course and really resurrected it from, a state that it was, needed help. And so now to have something like this, grace the grounds on what we've worked so hard for as a family, we couldn't be more proud to have you both, involved in this project, because I think it puts Ivy Hill right where it needs to be, right in the spotlight.
Well, and we just really want to thank you as a family for that investment, because we would not have had a shot at bringing something like this if it hadn't been for you all. So I'm putting the call out there to all my citizens to be on your best behavior. I want you to be so welcoming and make everybody that comes, this 87% that's coming from out of town, I wanted you to show them what we're made up here and how we support our own and our events, and then be the best ambassadors that you can possibly be, so that they never want to go anywhere else.
That's right. 100%.
And I was pulling up the website. It's if you go to pdj.com/2024 Pro Worlds, we have all the information. We've got maps and link for tickets, etiquette, because these disc golfers, the winner of this event, it won't be a big payday, maybe $30,000, but the benefits they get from their sponsors are seven figures in terms of they get their name on a disc permanently, and they get royalties from that disc. This is the highest pressure event. I run the biggest disc golf event in the world in Peoria with 2,500 players. This event here blows that out of the water in terms of the pressure and in terms of what the stakes they're playing for. and they all take it so. That's why they're here for 15 days. They come to my event in Peoria. They're there for, the event for 4 days. And they're there for 2 days to practice. Here, they're here now, and they're practicing because it's that important.
And that's what's so cool at the golf course. I mean, we're starting practice rounds Thursday.
Yeah.
And I hear some people are already there practicing, now. So that's really, I mean, to be able just to go out there at Ivy Hill, right here in the Lynchburg community and see those players, it's something to truly watch somebody throw a disc 600 feet. I mean, you don't realize it, and that thing soars through the air. And Nate, you can help me on the terminology because I've been learning the Heiser word, and all those different terminology. But it's incredible to truly watch, So definitely have those, the Lynchburg community come out and support us with that as well. Nate, my mind just goes back to so many times, and going through this process for 2 years. What has been some of the highlights for you getting to this point? Because I'm sure there's stressful moments.
Yeah. The biggest highlight for me was still when I came to Ivy Hill for the first time and I pulled up to whatever disc golf hole 10 is, and I saw, and then disc golf hole 6 kind of by the house there, seeing the mountains in the background, I thought I have to put a hole here and I have to make this the backdrop, these mountains. And I think for me, that was still one of my first highlights in saying, I've designed a lot of courses, and it's unique for me to be the event director and the designer of the course, but that allowed me to have full control to make the vision a reality. And I think that first moment saying, I have to figure this out to make that backdrop, when people come here and they see that, they're going to remember that. They're not going to remember maybe the ponds. They're not going to remember the elevation as much. They'll remember the mountains, and framing that hole 6, then hole 7, and hole 10 that's memorable. But getting the bid, when I got the call for the bid, and I called you and Paul, and I let him on for a few minutes, Vickie. I think I told him I had something to tell him, and I let him play on for a couple minutes. But and then just coming back here a few times. I came back here a year ago, I think, and it was 30-mile-an-hour winds and raining so hard, and I thought, I need to make this course easier. And I'm glad I didn't, because now it's nice and calm and green, but I think that was memorable for the wrong reasons because it was so windy. But I think I'm excited to be here for the weather we have now.
Well, what's been so fun too is even leading up to Worlds, Marjette, we were able to host 2 Liberty flamethrower tournaments. We were able to host the Battle of Bedford. So having even more community events come to the golf course and on a collegiate level
because of this event.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and I also think that a lot of parents could bring children to this event and spur that love for, like Vickie was saying, for a whole new sport, right? And to know that the international championships are being played in your backyard, and it is my hope that recreationally, quality of life, and the fact that the economic impact is what it is. I mean, we're talking about thousands of spectators that will be, as Nate has described, coming with the group, but I'm hoping everybody just goes, what in the world, is happening here, and comes out to see this. And then that spurs, you all have led the way with an investment, but disc golf, I know that for Bedford County, they really, just like us, from a tourism perspective, took a risk recreationally to build a course.
Yes.
And we are fortunate in Lynchburg that the Parks and Rec director for Bedford County is now the Parks and Rec director, Wyatt Woody, for the city of Lynchburg. And he shared with me what that team that he had there in Bedford County did to get that course built. And it is a story that is not unlike the empire that I call Vickie and Brian Rump. I mean, it's one of those things where if you can believe in it, you can do it.
Everybody will come.
Everybody will come, and I'm just so moved by the stories that Wyatt talks about them doing that. So, as an example to other communities, if you work together with great people and you have great event organizers, you can bring things to your community beyond your your wildest dream, what you would have ever thought. Because I remember sitting in the room that day, and you two are infectious. And but also sitting there and just go, Andrew goes, "What do you want to do?" I go, "We're doing this. We're doing this."
Yeah, I remember you say we're going to find a way to make it happen.
I go, "I don't know," and Andrew Marks is my sales manager, and he is the best steward of anybody's money. I would put him up against anybody when it comes to how well he makes sure that an event's going to be run. And all, I mean, I can count on him he's already got it whiteboarded in his sleep when it comes to something like this. But I just looked at him, and with all of that being put together, I said, we're going to find a way. We will find a way to get this done. And hopefully Nate and his whole team will believe that Lynchburg can pull this off. And here we are.
Here we are.
And I am so incredibly excited. We put the poster up out in front of our office today. And when I walked in, I mean, we all waited to see the logo and all. We've been invested in this, as you two know, for 2 years now. And I'm really hoping that this podcast and everything else we're all doing gets this community jazzed up about what an honor it is to host this event.
And you were mentioning the mountains, Nate. I think that when you're on hole 6, and you just look to your right, you look in front of you, you look to your left, Ivy Hill Golf Course is situated in such a way that it just is surrounded by these beautiful, majestic mountains. Sometimes you feel like you're in Colorado a little bit, and you sit and you think, wow, we're just so blessed to be situated here. And I think your guests are really going to enjoy the environment. Sometimes we take for granted, Marjette.
That's right.
But
That's exactly right.
I think you've hit a great throw there.
Well, I see
what you did there.
I did.
Yeah.
My wife doesn't travel with me to any disc golf events. We have a couple kids. She's coming to this one because I told her that Lynchburg was special, and she loves the mountains, and she's coming here for next weekend. And I think that's a testament to all I had to say was mountains, and she was like, "I'm there."
Yeah. And Marjette, you mentioned about how much work that everybody really has truly put in, and the Bedford County team. And I know all the time and effort we put in at the golf course. I mean, we've met with Nate several times about, picking every little tree limb off and making sure everything's TV perfect. I mean, how cool CBS Sports is going to pick this up. I mean, the impact. I mean, how cool is that?
Absolutely. The impact. And like I said before, I mean, I don't know if people can wrap their head around it, but the truth is with tourism, it's the most dynamic form of economic development, right? And the fact that you all seized on that, don't think it's lost on us that you totally upfitted your golf course for disc golf, and that you've made it picture perfect, because you all know what it takes to showcase on a regional, national level.
We've had so much fun doing it, too.
You've got to take it to the next level there. And so that is for me, like knowing that we are going to get that kind of exposure. I think it's hard for people to wrap their head around. It's similar to, Liberty moving into a different conference level, and that every Wednesday night they are on ESPN or on national TV. And it's a showcase, and you don't think so, for people all over the country and the world to say, what a cool place is the region of Lynchburg and the city of Lynchburg. So,
and we hope people are going to want to come back for other things that they find interesting here, the history. I mean, we have Poplar Forest and, Thomas Jefferson's summer home right here. We have so much rich history.
The D-Day Memorial. You've got the Bluff Walk. You've got all kinds of restaurants. We are going to take very, very, very good care of Nate's
we like
spectators
we like that.
And players
staff.
And staff.
Me.
You.
I need a home cooked meal at some point from Chris when I'm here, but I would say
that would be me, Nate.
Okay, sorry.
You don't want me cooking.
Never mind. We ran this event in Peoria in 2019, and what we saw after touches on what you just said. The impact for 5 years has been that the courses played for that event and the area before that event, 5 to 10% of the people playing that course were from Illinois. After, 50% of people playing just on a regular day are from out of state, because they see the area and the courses that are used for the World Championships. They see it on TV and they say, I need to go there. And so the benefit from a tourism and economic perspective will be for 3 to 5 years. I mean, we'll be able to put a sign out there at the golf course at New London that says home of the 2024 PDGA Disc Golf World Championships.
That's awesome.
And I remember whenever, I asked you, I was like, tell me the highest attended event you ever had.
You're very competitive, Chris.
Absolutely.
Very
I mean, we're not going to do it halfway.
Yeah,
and he gave
absolutely.
me a number, and I was like, well, whatever that, I'm going to beat it by 1. I want to be the highest, attended event. And I think
I've trained him well.
I think we're on our way there.
Yeah.
And,
We are, yeah.
That's, it's exciting to know the numbers, and that's with 87% of the
Yeah.
people coming from out of the area. So that's the reason. I mean, we're going to do some news interviews with We're trying to get the word out because Lynchburg just has to show up in a big way, and we can blow this thing out of the park.
Absolutely.
It's
And
right
nobody
there.
does hospitality better.
Oh, thank y'all so much. I
Than
mean,
the two of you.
we really are so very humbled to have been chosen. And now we're just ready to put the show on. And just a couple of weeks ago at Light Up the Lawn, we welcomed 8,000 in for the fireworks show that night. And so we feel like just with that group, we've got a good following. And each year it keeps growing. And that's just for a 15-minute fireworks show.
I had no idea where all those people came from, but it was a beautiful sight to see.
Wow.
And we had a great fireworks show.
So I think Bedford County loves Ivy Hill already, and I think Lynchburg, and we were told we were the best fireworks show in the area, bar none. So we feel like we can do some disc golf too.
And that was a big contributor. I remember showing Nate those pictures from that event because a big concern of his getting the bid in it was like, do you know how to do this? Can you host that many people? Do you have the parking for that many people?
I could have told him.
Do you? And I was like, listen, I've already got an event out there where we've got 6,000 to 8,000 people coming, and you don't have to worry about it. Our staff is properly trained. And when I learned that he brought a staff of like 80 more people, I was like, we got this thing in the bag.
I work with some event organizers who they say the stuff that Chris says, and then when it gets down to it, it's not there. And here, if I say, Chris, I need that blade of grass cut, he would do it, and he would have his staff do it. And I'm not asking that yet, but I'm going to go back today and find some.
Yeah.
But last night we drove through the course, and Chris is like, I'll cut that, I'll do that. Give me a chainsaw. And so I think that's what, and I'm not that way. I don't like to work that hard, but I like to work smart. But he just gets his hands dirty, and I think that's where it's going to be successful.
Well, we appreciate you too. Sadly, it's time, time's run out, but we just want it one more time, Nate. Where can people buy tickets?
Yeah.
Where can they find that information? Because we need to get them out there, and we're excited.
Yep. They can go to pdga.com/2024 Pro Worlds. They'll find all the information at that website.
Okay. And there's how many people streamed this? You told me 1.5 million.
It'll be on YouTube. It'll be on the Disc Golf Network, CBS. Between all of those things, it'll probably be over 1 million unique people who will eventually watch it on YouTube, watch it on CBS Sports post-production, or watch it live on the Disc Golf Network.
That's awesome.
Go Lynchburg and go Forest. We're so excited.
That's amazing.
Marjette,
welcome,
thank you for
Nate.
being
We're
here.
so incredibly excited to have you, and I can't say thank you enough to Chris.
And I don't want to
Vickie,
run
and
any future news, but I think there's a good chance that there may be some reoccurring events here. So
fingers
Come
crossed.
Come back.
all right.
That's
Well, thank you both for being here, Mom. As always, I know you like to end each show with a quote, so I'll kick it over to you for this. This should be a good one.
A true community is not just about being geographically close to someone or part of the same social web network. It's about feeling connected and responsible for what happens. Humanity is our ultimate community, and everyone else plays a crucial role. And that's exactly what we've done here. We love our community, couldn't be more passionate about the city of Lynchburg and all the people that help us run our great city. We love the history. We love where we live. And so we jumped in and said, hey, let's make something great happen. And thanks to Christopher, he hasn't slept in 2 years, so maybe you can after this. And everybody that has rallied around us to bring this great event right here in our backyard. And until next time, I hope to see you in your community coming out to the disc golf events. Let's help support everything that we brought here. Until next time, I'll see you again around the table with Vickie.